This is the mini lesson for odds. Odds is kind of like probability, in the sense of if you hear, what is the probability of me winning the lottery? You might also hear what are the odds in favor of me winning the lottery, or what are the odds against me winning the lottery. So it deals with the chance of something happening. Probability is always out of the total, right? So when you have the probability of winning, you really have how many ways can you win divided by the total, which you guys know. But in probability, you're always dividing by the total. Probability is a ratio. We normally write it as a fraction. You think about a die. What is the probability of you rolling a 2? Well, there's one side on a die out of 6 sides total, so it's a 1 out of 6 chance of rolling a 2. Odds are also given as a ratio, but we normally use the colon as a ratio for the ratio instead of the fraction bar. Odds is a comparison of favorable outcomes to unfavorable outcomes. The odds in favor of an event is the ratio of favorable outcomes to unfavorable outcomes. The odds against an event is the ratio of unfavorable outcomes to favorable outcomes. Just notice that all they did was switch. They just reversed. A special thing to note is that odds does not involve the total. Neither of these numbers in the odds ratio will represent the total. In fact, together, when you add them, you will get the total. So let me give you an example. If I said, what are the odds of me rolling a 2 on a die, or sorry, what is the probability of me rolling a 2 on a die? There is 1 out of 6 ways for you to roll a 2. What are the odds in favor of rolling a 2? Well, there's one way to roll a 2. 2, the 5 sides that do not involve a 2. 1, 2, 5. What are the odds against rolling a 2? Well, that's how many ways can you not roll a 2 on a die. There are 5 sides on the die that are not a 2. 1 way on the die that you could get a 2. So they're both ratios. When we write odds, we use the colon ratio. When you write probability, you use a fraction ratio. Notice that the two numbers that make up your odds add up to give you the total. Since these are ratios, you do still want to reduce or simplify the ratios if it ever needs them. You'll see this in example 1. Okay, so let's try this. Mrs. Peterson has a candy jar with 48 candy bars. 18 of the candy bars are Snickers, 20 are Twix, and the rest are Skittles. Assume every candy bar has an equally likely chance of being selected. Find the odds in favor of selecting a Snickers from the jar. So I want the odds in favor of selecting a Snickers. What is that going to be? Well, I really want to know basically how many ways can I select a Snickers? 2, how many ways can I not select a Snickers? So we look at the numbers here. How many Snickers are in the jar? There are 18. Then how many candy bars are not Snickers? Really, there were a total of 48. Just subtract out the 18. There are 30 candy bars that are not Snickers. There's your odds. However, it's not simplified. Even though it doesn't look like a fraction, remember guys, this is just another way of writing a ratio. You always simplify ratios. 18 and 30 can be reduced. What can you take out? So you can show us this work. You're going to divide both of these numbers by what? 18 and 30, you can take out a 6. And what's your simplified ratio? 3, 2, 5. The odds in favor of picking a Snickers are 3 to 5. Basically, for every 3 Snickers bars in the jar, there are 5 candy bars that are not Snickers. Okay, let's try another one. Notice the next one. What are the odds against selecting a Snickers now? That's just the reverse of what you just did. The odds against is going to be not Snickers to Snickers. Well, if you notice this, it's really just going to be your answer from the previous problem in reverse. Or how many are not Snickers bars? 30. There are 30 that are other candy bars. How many are Snickers? 18. If it says the odds against, you put the number of items that are against getting what you want first. That reduces to 5/3. You don't really need to start with the 30 to 18 if you recognize that it's just the opposite of what we did in A, you could just reverse your answer right there. Okay, let's try another one. Find the odds in favor of selecting a chocolate bar. Since it says odds in favor, we want to know how many ways can I select a chocolate bar to not getting a chocolate bar. So chocolate bars here, well, both Snickers and Twix are chocolate. So how many ways can you select a chocolate bar? Add those together, 38. How many ways can you not select a chocolate bar then in the candy jar out of the 48 candy bars? If 38 are chocolate, 10 must be Skittles. How did I get 10? I just did the total 48 minus the 38. Remember that this is a ratio, so simplify your ratio, reduce it down. What can you take out of 38 and 10? They're both divisible by 2. So if you divide by 2, you get 19 to 5. Can't simplify that any farther. The odds in favor of selecting a chocolate bar are 19 to 5. There are 19 ways to select a chocolate bar and 5 ways to not. Okay, so let's practice converting between the two. Remember and trust yourself. Know that you know what probability is. Like I said with the example with the dice, that the die rolling a number, there's one way to get that number divided by 6 total sides. But odds does not involve, when you write the odds ratio, it doesn't involve the total number. However, you could add the two numbers together to get the total. I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, so 12 homerooms compete for field day glory, but only one homeroom will win. Assume every homeroom has equally likely chance of winning a field day. Of course, your homeroom is the most talented, right? So definitely not equal chance. But let's just say every homeroom has equal talent, equal chance of winning field day. Find the odds against a Team 1 homeroom winning. When I ask for the odds against, I'm looking for basically how many ways can it not be Team 1? 2, how many ways can it be Team 1 that will win for field day? Well, there are 8 homerooms that are not from Team 1 in the competition for 7th grade. And there are 4 homerooms on Team 1 that are part of the competition. 8 to 4 reduces to 2 to 1. Basically, guys, visualize it. For every 2 homerooms not on Team 1, there is 1 homeroom on Team 1. What are the odds in favor of Team 1 winning? Well, they have a 1 to 2 chance. Where did that come from? I just flipped my answer around from A. Or if you think about it, there are 4 homerooms on Team 1 that could win, to the 8 homerooms not on Team 1. And that reduces or simplifies down to 1 to 2. Probability, you're adding up. Remember that probability is out of the total. So what's the probability that Team 1 will win field day? Think about it. That's how many homerooms are on Team 1 divided by the what? Total. How many homerooms are on Team 1? 4 out of, not 8, out of 12. 12 is the total. 4/12 reduces to 1/3. That's a common fraction, you probably know. It's also a common percent, you probably know. It's a repeating decimal, 33.3 repeating percent. You could leave it as the reduced fraction. That's normally what we do. So let's convert between the two. Let's look at example 3. Just take these slow. Whenever we teach this, it seems like students feel like it's very simple in class, and then when they go to do their homework, they get a little confused. Label what they give you and try to take things slow. Tesla has a raffle in the mall where you can enter to win a new car. The odds of winning the car are 1 to 59. This is what I mean about labeling. I'm going to label that. The odds of winning. Okay, so what does 1 represent? 1 represents you winning. That's the odds of winning. If it was odds against, then that would be reversed. But the first number here is representing winning. 1, 2, 599, what does that represent? Not winning. Remember, if you're given odds, it's like favorable to unfavorable. Neither one of those numbers are the total. But then it asks you to find the probability of winning the new car. So the probability of winning, remember what probability is. is how many ways can you win divided by the what? Total. By taking a second to write this down, it will help you to not make a mistake. By labeling, I know now that the win is the 1, and the total, I don't want to write down 599, that's not the total. I have to add those two numbers together to get the total. My probability of winning this car is a 1 out of 600 chance. It says write your answer in fraction form. This is it. It can't simplify. We're not going to change it to a percent. It would be a very small percent though. So if you label the odds that they give you, that will help. They could have given you the odds against. You would still label it and then convert it to probability. Okay, let's try the next one. Amazon is offering multiple prizes as a giveaway for the first day of summer. The probability of winning a prize is 1 to 100. Again, this is where I think it's helpful to just take a second and label. Since this is the probability of winning, 1 represents what? Winning. It's probability, so the denominator always represents the what? Total. By putting those labels on, it will help you to answer these questions quicker now. What are the odds for winning? Remember that odds for winning is going to be win to not win, not the total. Okay, so how many ways can you win the prize? 1. I got that from the numerator. How many ways can you not win? You actually have to take the total and subtract the numerator, right? So this is going to be 100 minus 1, or 99. The odds of winning a prize are 1 to 99. It's a ratio. We normally read that colon as the word to. Okay, what are the odds against winning a prize? Against winning now is going to be not winning to winning. Okay, so that's just 99 to 1. We're just turning it around, just reversing it. Just take these problems slow, label what they give you, take a second to think, is this win, not win, or total? For each problem, that will help you, and these should be easy problems that you're getting right, but I see a lot of students make mistakes when they just try to rush right into it. So take your time on them, practice, and ask your teacher if you have any questions.